February 19th, 2016. The Institute for Advanced Study in Princeton, New Jersey, United States, is an independent postdoctoral research center for theoretical research and intellectual inquiry founded in 1930 by American educator Abraham Flexner together with philanthropists Louis Baumberger and Caroline Baumberger-Fold. Flexner's guiding principle in founding the Institute was the pursuit of knowledge for its own sake. There are no degree programs or experimental facilities at the Institute. Research is never contracted or directed. It is left to each individual researcher to pursue their own goals. That's where I should be. That's where I should be. Because when you think about it, the discovery that Earth is an ancient star and that stellar evolution is planet formation itself, that's a PhD thesis, if you will. That's an entirely different worldview. It's original research. It's basically the pinnacle of understanding of nature, basically, that I stumbled upon. It was an accident. I'm not a brilliant person. I just stumbled upon it like a dumbass. But will I ever get to go to a school like this and pursue an academic goal? Never. They don't want people like me at these institutions. They want people who are cliquish, who belong inside of groups, who all think along the same lines, who all believe the same things. Little do they know, scientific progress comes from doing things differently, thinking differently, and by accident. And as those are the three requirements that I have. I think differently. That's just how I think. That's who I am. I don't belong in a little cliquish group. And I'm sure a lot of people who are watching this also realize that they don't belong in a little group where everybody thinks along the same lines. And they all believe the same things, and they're scared to death of being ridiculed by other people inside the group. They want to feel a sense of belongingness. But if you don't need a sense of belongingness, if you don't need to be accepted, if you don't need to have approval from people, from a quasi-mommy and daddy figure, you can do things on your own. You can figure this stuff out on your own. As long as you put the time and energy and effort into studying previous research from the past. Now, I'm not saying that all the previous research is correct. There are a lot of fuck-ups. There are a whole hell of a lot of fuck-ups with astrophysics. But I'm saying, look at the past. Look at where we came from. And bring yourself up all through the years so you can find where we went wrong in multiple places. That's what I'm doing right now. But I don't think that the people at Institute for Advanced Study that do astrophysics and cosmology related things understand that. They look at the past and think, well, they must have gone through all the wrong ideas, so only the right ideas have weeded their way through and made their ways to 2016. But that's not true at all. What's happened is a lot of the wrong ideas were kept, and nobody knew any better, so they just kept them. It's going to take quite a few years to fully come to grips with what's happened. But I think I'm on the right track for the most part into finding all those assumptions, into finding where we went wrong. Keeping on track for this specific talk, I wouldn't mind going here, but, I mean, look at this place. I'll go ahead and pull up a picture for you. It's like a 1920s, like, old school campus kind of thing where it's all, organized and it's really, like, prestigious kind of, and I bet you they have a really sweet library there you can read books in, and they probably have, like, dormitory type things where people have their own rooms and things. that'd be fucking sweet. I'd love to work there. I'd love to be there and just be along with people who are working on really hard subjects and they have a lot of ideas. But I don't have a PhD. I don't have a bachelor's degree yet. I don't have a master's degree in physics. This institution will only accept people who were previously conditioned into specific ways of looking at the world. But they don't realize that's where they're fucking up. If they want creative new ideas, you have to look outside the box. You have to look outside of your little in-groups. If you don't do that, then you're going to be stale. You're going to stagnate. That's why scientists these days still don't know how planets are formed, because they've taken those assumptions and they build up an entire worldview based off a false assumption, and it's all going to come crashing down. That's what's happening right now. And if the people there could see that, they wouldn't be in the mess that they're in right now when it comes to understanding the stars. But they're fully convinced that because they belong in these social groups and they have these high degrees and that they work at these institutions, they're convinced beyond a reasonable doubt that if there was something important to be known, they'd be the ones to know it first. And that's simply not true at all. These people would be the last to know what's going on. Anyways, it's so weird having a discovery of this magnitude in my hands and then seeing institutions where they claim to have these brilliant people and they know what they're doing. It's so weird looking at all this, because I'm like, you see it for what it really is. It's a social organization. It's not as much about understanding nature as it is about making you belong to a larger group where everybody believes that their importance is real, where they are conditioned into specific ways of looking at the world and they don't even realize that they have already been conditioned. They can't see outside of themselves, but I'm an outsider and I'm looking in and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. The fact that I've never stepped into a Ivy League college or on campus, and I've never been to a scientific conference, the fact that none of that's ever happened to me, I think, is my greatest strength, because I can see things for how they really are. I'm not blinded by large groups where peer pressure takes hold, where you have to say specific things and be politically correct all the time. That's just not how science progresses, man. It progresses in unpredictable fashions. Later.